Good evening, everyone. My name is Jasmine Boyd-Perry.
I'm James McCabe.
And I'm Santi Diwa-Ayu.
And today we're going to give you a presentation about our year-long internship with Company One. So Company One has a mission to change the face of Boston by uniting diverse communities and developing civically engaged artists. So a little bit of background is Company One started in 1998 by a group of students at Clark University who had the goal to integrate Boston audiences and to foster a new generation of theater makers and theater goers. Currently, they're partnered with 5 Boston Public Schools. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. And they have a board and staff of about 22 members, 15 board members, and 9 advisory board members. A lot of the people who work there are doing it in kind because they have such a passion for what they do. So a lot of them also have other full-time positions. So they're located in the South End at the Boston Center for the Arts, and the population that they serve is majorly Boston, but they also have big groups outside of Massachusetts and even in neighborhood areas around Boston, like Cambridge and Brookline. So our main objective was to increase the number of 18 to 24-year-olds who would attend Company One Theater, as well as engage and become participants in Boston's theater community. So, as I said, we intend to meet this goal, to increase the number of 18 to 24-year-olds, as well as create a sustainable group of theater goers in the city. And we wanted to advertise for people who had not been exposed to Company One Theater to get the word out, and to generate ideas for the future C1 Street Team to maximize community engagement. Now, the C1 Street Team is an idea to get together a coalition of students between 16 and 24, I believe, to help them put on workshops and get information about theater in Boston. And we are also marketing for 2 upcoming plays, which are The Flick, which happened February 20th to March 15th, and it was presented with the Suffolk University Modern Theater, and then Astro Boy, which is happening in July, and it's going to be at the Boston Center for the Arts in the South End.
So our outcome evaluation, what we wanted to do was compile a survey of the in focus groups, as well as compare the C1's post-production surveys and see if there was a change in the audience between the different shows that we were during this current season, and also track how many people subscribed to the mailing list, signed up for student memberships, and then attended an event with the flyer discount code. And so our main objectives, there were 5 of them. The first one, distribute surveys to college students. We're also going to organize the Flick, represent C1 at Anime Boston, promote Company One for Astro Boy through Astro Boy's birthday, as well as hold focus groups for college students. And so our original plan for the survey was to have about 400 people fill out an electronic survey on SurveyMonkey, and we were going to have them analyze the data afterwards and create a report and graphs on the data that we learned about. But in actuality, we had to switch our electronic survey format to Google Docs because SurveyMonkey charged more for over 10 questions, so we decided to scrap that idea. And out of the 400, we only got 76 surveys completed, and so from those 76, we analyzed the data and created a report on the findings. So basically, our results were that 56% of college students surveyed out of the 76 went to more than 5 performances in the past year. 64% attended the performance in the last month. 80% stated that cheaper tickets would lead them to attend more theater, and 53% said that they had not heard of Company One previously. Next slide. And so one of the interesting things was that the topics that students wanted to most likely see in theater was anything, social issues, and contemporary subjects. And so some recommendations after the survey, we figured that paper responses were a greater % than actual emails, and that you should probably give it to people rather than send out emails, because people will be more likely to toss away like an email than having somebody hand them a paper. As well as on college campuses, we think that after looking at the data that they should, company one should stress plays about social issues, as well as the low cost of attending, and also more or less advertise their pay what you can days, which are a minimum of $6, so that college students will be more likely to attend theater on those days.
Okay. On to our next main objective was organizing the Flicks Flick, which was a mission to get word out about the flick by partnering with BU, which I'll talk about a little later. But the objective was to screen Pulp Fiction because it's a movie that heavily influenced the flick. It was to facilitate a discussion with the actors and the students, and to have the dramaturg come and present about how it affected the play, as well as to take photos and put it up on social media. So as I said, we partnered with BU's Film Society because we wanted to make sure we stayed in the city and stayed on a college campus, and we had food and movies and fun, or at least the people seemed like they were having fun, so that was good. We ended up discussing how Pulp Fiction influenced the flick with the dramaturg. We had originally wanted some of the actors to come, but there was like a little mix-up, but they still seemed to have a great time. And we created and distributed Pulp Fiction trivia so that for those who had already seen the movie, they could still be engaged and feel like they're a part of something, and that allowed us to pick winners of tickets. And we took photos and to post on social media. Sorry. So the results were, we got about 30 people. We had handed out about like 100+ flyers all around campus, put some on vending machines, so that was pretty cool. So when you got your snack, you're like, hey, come to BU. And we got 20 people to join the mailing list, and the people who participated in the trivia, which was everyone, about 5 of them won tickets to come to see the flick. I want to tell you a little bit about the flick. So the flick is a play that was created by Annie Baker, and I realized I didn't do that, so I apologize. And it is based upon a movie theater that's a little bit in Western Mass, and it's based on 3 characters and sort of their interactions with each other, and how their outside lives come into the movie theater and affect them. So it's quite long, it's about 3 hours long, and a lot of it's done in real time, which is something that doesn't often happen in theater. So, oh, that's Megan and us, which is good. Okay, so some recommendations for the Flicks Flick. We feel we should advertise more broadly and make use of the networks that we have. So maybe trying to expand networks, but then also like being more persistent with the networks we have. We want to encourage students to like and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. That day we mostly were just collecting mailing list things instead of doing social media pushes. I think it would be smart to award the tickets instantly to the students. We actually ended up taking their names and then sending them an email later. But people really like instant gratification. To have those tickets in hand once you win, it seems more awesome. And you should probably give out 2 tickets rather than 1, because a lot of times students won't go to something by themselves. So if you give one person 2 tickets, you'll have basically a night out with your friend, and then you'll have 2 people to talk about the experience. So after that, we did a partial student buyout of the flick. So we had 2 attendees from the Flicks Flick attend the flick. Jeez Louise. We had 8 students attend the flick on the night of the partial buyout, and 6 of those students attended a pre-performance talk. We thought it'd be important to have people understand the set and what went into it, because it is a crucial part of the play. It was actually set up like a movie theater, so say you guys would sit here, look, and you would be looking at seats of a movie theater, and so it was actually a really awesome setup. And all 8 attendees completed the C1 post survey. So additional marketing for the flick. We distributed flyers everywhere that we could, a lot at UMass Boston. We also brought some to the Brattle Theater, to BU, to the Boys and Girls Club of Dorchester, thanks to Santi. Overall shows, however, for the demographic of younger than 24-year-old crowds, the flick only made up about 2%, in comparison to other shows at Company One, which we are proud to present a presentation, had about 32%, and Splendor had 26%. And so we were trying to figure out potential reasons as to why this happened, so here are our theories. Well, Annie Baker has a cult following, so she already has a demographic of people who want to come see her. We feel those people probably bought a lot of the tickets. Also, it is a lengthy play, and that could discourage some people. There is limited seating at the Modern. As we saw on the partial buyout day, we were completely packed and sold out. And students do frequently purchase last-minute tickets. I recall being there, and there were some people who came were asked to buy tickets right then, and that can be a hindrance because students like to do things late. So I don't think it was necessarily us, but maybe procrastinating college students.
So our third objective is to represent Company One at Anime Boston and to promote their upcoming summer premiere of Astro Boy and the God of Comics. So in order to do this, we thought it'd be necessary to purchase swag. We purchased a lot of swag. We have these lovely t-shirts. These were designed with the help of our two mentors, Sarah Champnoy and Mitch Gaynor, who you met earlier. We have sunglasses. We thought those were very collegiate. Stickers, click pens, swag bags, and we also have these lovely Astrobomb, that's a Twitter hashtag, cards with the promo code on them, and the promo code allows people to put it in and purchase discounted tickets to Astro Boy and the God of Comics. So for those of you that haven't heard of Anime Boston, you may have stumbled upon it if you are anywhere near the Heinz Convention Center during the month of March. You'll see people dressed up in costumes. And for Anime Boston, it's a convention. It's about Japanese culture, anime, cartoons, creativity, and with them we brought the Astrobomb.
So here are some examples of what cosplay is and what we did at Anime Boston. So we kind of set up this dynamic where we got the puppet of Astro Boy and we Astrobomb people so that people can later find their photos on Twitter. And so cosplay is when you dress up in like a character or from a comic or from a book or even an idea, and you put a lot of effort. So a lot of these people were spend months and months preparing. So we got photos with them, and Santi dressed up like Astro Girl, and we got a picture with Mario and Luigi, and we made sure that people who took photos with Astro Boy would get an Astrobomb card so that they can later find their pictures on Twitter and like us.
So the play Astro Boy and the God of Comics is actually about the Japanese anime, one of the original cartoons, Astro Boy. And in order to promote this, we attended Anime Boston and we handed out these cards, as we mentioned earlier. So they have the hashtag Astrobomb. That way we could introduce people to our Twitter handle. And then behind it, we have the discount code that we talked about, just so that everyone that was involved in the photo could see themselves online. So the original plan for Anime Boston was to staff a booth at Anime so that we could have all of our Company One material. Also to distribute the swag and raffle off an Astro Boy DVD box set. So our actual programming is that we were very lucky to be able to attend a workshop in honor of Astro Boy. The play isn't until the summer, but Natsu, who is the director and writer of the play, was here. And we also utilized the corner of Comicopia's table for flyers. We had expected to get a full table, but we utilized a corner. And to do this, we were very flexible and decided to mobilize, which became beneficial because we were able to interact with all of the cosplayers who were extremely friendly. We were able to get photographed with cosplayers and the Astro Boy puppet that was created by their street team director, John King. We distributed a lot of swag, and we promoted the Company One Twitter handle, which you can see on the screen. So the results, Comicopia provided us with less space than we thought. We were able, however, to interact with cosplayers. So everyone noticed that we were in costume and decided that they wanted to talk to us, and we were able to promote Astro Boy. We photographed Astro Boy with attendees, and we went to the screening, which there was an Astro Boy screening of some of the first episodes at night on Friday, and we stayed for that and spoke with people. So we were really lucky and posted 52 Twitter photos. So if you go to the Company One Twitter and you want to see more photos of us dressed in cosplay, you can do that. There are 18 Instagram photos and 13 mailing list members, and everyone that took a picture with us and allowed us to post it received a swag bag. So recommendations for Anime Boston is that originally when we had planned to book a table, we did this within 24 hours, and we did not realize that there's such a high return of people that have booked booths from the previous years due to the popularity of Anime Boston that we were unable to secure a table. So we were prepared for changing circumstances. The Comicopia table, we learned to ensure that deals are clear and concise. We also complimented the cosplayers and asked them if they could take photos, which was extremely important. Wear comfortable shoes and dress play in cosplay outfits so that we can blend in and talk to people. So our next main objective is to promote Company One for Astro Boy's birthday. So this was recommended by our two mentors, Raphael and Cliff from the university. This was not part of the original plan, but they said, listen, you had so many great responses when it came to Anime Boston. We really think you should just table here on campus. And we thought, what a great idea. And originally we were going to have video blogs, which became kind of difficult due to the legality of showing some of the play's work before. So for actual programming, it was Astro Boy's 12th birthday on April 7th, 2014. This is not when the Astro Boy was created. It's his birthday because he was born in the future. For those of you that are interested. So we tabled at UMass Boston. We had a 100-person sheet cake with a photo on it. We did balloon pop, so people could pop balloons in exchange and win a prize. We allowed people to take photos with Astro Boy. We advertised for the focus groups. We displayed all of our swag, and we recruited for our email list, Twitter, and Facebook. So this is a lovely photo of James donning our Astro Boy promotional t-shirt with Astro Boy, and this is the box that Jasmine decorated for balloon pop. This is our lovely cake, and this is the flyer that Mitch designed for Astro Boy's birthday. So this event was only 3 hours long. We found that we had such a great turnout. We had a booth and we were swarmed with people. There were so many different activities. You could take photos, you could pop balloons. People were really engaged. So we gained 40 Facebook friends, 18 Twitter followers, 61 mailing list members, and 4 of those people actually attended the focus group that James held later on in the day. We distributed all 100 of the season 15 brochures, all 100 of the flyers, and all 50 of the Playlab flyers, and we should have brought more. So some recommendations for Astro Boy's birthday is to be prepared to be covered in sugar, as Jasmine was a lovely cake distributor. And people really like instant gratification of free swag. So in exchange for showing us on their smartphone that they became a follower or they liked us while we were giving them the short elevator pitch about Astro Boy and passing out flyers, they received swag. There are multiple ways of attracting crowds. So in order to take a photo, or if you want to pop a balloon, or if you just want a piece of cake, other people could be engaged. And this event should happen more often at other college campuses, and maybe closer to the opening night of the play. It just seemed like a great way to get college students involved that hadn't heard of Company One Theater.
And our last objective was to hold focus groups. And basically our original plan was to have 10 to 20 students throughout the year in 3 different times over this past semester to meet and just talk about marketing strategies that Company One had, and just have all the students attend meetings. Next slide. And so our actual programming, it ended up being that we had 3 focus groups, 1 in March and 2 in April. And on the March one, we gave out free tickets to the flick, and we also gave out free t-shirts to the first 2 focus group attendees, so that got some people to show up. And so for the results, we interviewed 8 UMass Boston students throughout the year, and all participants signed up for the Company One mailing list. We had an audio recording of all 3 sessions. We compiled the major findings in a selected quotes section, and we wrote up recommendations. And at the bottom, this is one of the students who said that theater to them is beauty and commitment in life. Very poetic. And then these are some more additional quotes that we feel are very relevant to what Company One can use later on in the future. Why people don't attend theater more, scheduling, thoughts on Company One's upcoming shows. One said that he was excited about it, but he was afraid that it would be more about plays for people who didn't attend theater rather than theater goers. And then another person's thoughts on how Company One can attract more college students is to have workshops for theater majors in the area so that they can learn more about what it is like to be a theater person in the real world. Next slide. And some recommendations. We found out that email blasts help, but they don't guarantee people will actually show up. Free food and swag attract people. And on college campuses, we suggested C1 should advertise to local college theater majors, promote cheap tickets because everyone likes cheap stuff, and hold workshops about steps to figure out how to pursue a career in theater.
So one thing that we didn't have on our list, but we were very happy to be a part of, was the Company One Gala. So every year, C1 holds an annual gala, and it's in an effort to get word out there and to get more funding for the arts programming. And at the gala, they had a live DJ, dance performances, silent and live auctions. And one of the important things about the gala, one thing that stuck with me, was when the Director of Public Relations, Summer, went up there and talked about why it's important to have the gala and why people were there and why they're participating in these auctions. And it's because C1 has a mission to make sure that theater is accessible to anyone who wants to go to theater. And they want to make sure that the ticket prices stay low, but a lot of times when people buy these lower price tickets, they don't realize that there is a lot of work that went into keeping it very low. They don't realize that all these people had come together to donate money and to participate and to fund these arts programs to make sure that anyone can go to the theater. So though people are paying $10, you have to think it's more than $10 that you're getting. So the way we participated in the gala is we volunteered. Santi and James participated at the coat rack and actually ended up getting an awesome tips and donated those tips to Company One, which is fantastic. And I acted as the photographer's assistant, which consists of, hey, that person's wearing a green top, remember this photo. So that was cool. Raphael, our mentor, actually attended, and he participated in the silent auction and won something, which was great. And one of the quotes he said was, it was the most diverse theater gala he has been to, because he was talking about, because he's in costume making, going to other events and how he would go to these galas and it would be the same type of people, but to be at a place where there were so many different types of people, so many different types of experiences, so many different types of patrons, it was refreshing and really nice to see. So that was cool. Oh, that's James in the coat rack, us together, and fantastic samba dancers. So it was actually, it was a great night. Go next year if you can. Okay. So lessons learned. Campus events are very, very successful. In that 3 hours, we gotten the most responses that we had even at Anime Boston in regards to the mailing list specifically. Swag provides a physical reminder for upcoming events. A lot of the swag that we had was for Astro Boy because we're not going to be around for when the play is happening. It allows people to look down at their shirts and say, hey, oh yeah, I need to go to that thing. So it was good. Sending emails may not be the best way to communicate, but social media definitely is, because a lot of college students don't necessarily check the emails, but they're always on Facebook, they're always on Twitter, they're always on social media. So to have those little blurbs in the photos are a reminder about what they liked. Broadening advertising. So just make sure we're always promoting, so I'm gonna combine that. Make sure we're always promoting and marketing for the student memberships, because they're fantastic. It's only $60 a year, so $5 a month, and you get to go to all 4 plays as a student and get a snack, and if you attend all 4 plays, you get a t-shirt. For adults, it's $10 a month, so it's $120, and it's also a fantastic opportunity. Utilize all known networks. So if you know someone, just, hey, guys, come to this play. Hey, attend this event. And clearly display all C1 social media handles, because sometimes it gets small, so make it a little bigger, it'd be great.
So we'd like to thank the UMass Boston President's Office for funding this project. We'd also like to thank the Honors College staff. They've been extremely helpful throughout the entire process, Rajni, Megan, Mike, and Joyce. We'd like to thank our faculty members, Raphael and Cliff, for being there with great ideas. We'd also like to thank our Company One site supervisor, Sarah Champnoy, for being just instrumental in the entire process and always being there when we needed feedback, as well as additional Company One staff, Natalie, Summer, Alana, and Jesse, and also the C1 Street Team staff, John, the program director, and Mitch, who's here today, the program manager. And we'd like to remind all of you that Astro Boy and the God of Comics is going to be this summer from July 18th to August 16th. All of us will be there. Jasmine and I actually purchased student memberships, so we will be at all Company One shows. And just to let you know more about Astro Boy and the God of Comics, it's a multimedia show. So in addition to theater, there's live drawing, there's acting, there's projection, there's something for everyone. And if you would so like to follow us on Twitter, you can take out your smartphone right now, and if you go at company_1, we have some lovely click pens for you. So thank you very much, and we'd be happy to take any questions.
Santi actually asked me, do you think it'd be okay if at the end of the talk we promoted the play? And I was like, well, that is what you were doing all semester, so sure. So, yes.
So apparently there was a typo in the information we gave you. The percentage of under 24 audience at the Flick was actually 20%, not 2.
Yay!
So good job.
Something.
And I also want to point out that since we started this kind of shift in focus to this age group, we've actually seen a 17% increase in that age group in attendance over the last year. So I just wanted, and that's a recent thing that we've kind of looked at, and so I just wanted to throw that out there as a really awesome thing that you guys clearly had a part in. So.
Hey, thanks. I was trying to figure out why. I was like, what did we do?
Yeah. no, it was definitely 20%. So it's all Mitch's fault.
Get out of here, Mitch.
I already updated it.
Thank you.
All right, questions? Other questions? Oh, Pacey has one for everyone. Well, I'll let you hold that. Okay, Sam's good. Is yours for everyone or? Okay,
No, it's
just for them. All right, go for it.
So at Anime Boston, James, why didn't you dress up? And Jasmine, what did you dress up as?
I'll go first. Well, I didn't think that the rest of them were going to dress up as much, so I said, oh, I'll just get a bandana. So I wore my regular attire and found out that I was like the only weirdo in the place without like any like cosplay. So I was like, oh, wrong decision. So that last thing about wearing crazy costumes was my idea.
I dressed up as basically the Galaxy, because I've seen some Astro Boy and I'm like, I don't look like any of these people. I have a purple tutu, I have lights, let's make it work. So I was the universe. So it was great. Any other questions?
You said something in passing about the future street team, or
Yes.
future street team marketing, possibly paid street team marketing people.
Yes.
Could you say a little bit more about that, please?
I believe it's gonna be 10 people, maybe?
And
They're gonna be 3 people, and I believe they're at a summer internship of high school students and some college students, and I believe it's coming through the Boston Youth Fund.
And
No?
the
Kind of. All right, how about we'll pass this to Mitch because he has the mic.
street team was funded through a challenge grant, so Company One Theater had to raise an initial, I believe it was $50,000, and that was matched. So they would be receiving that funding. Right now they're in the process of hiring for the street team, and they'll be starting in the summer and working with Mitch and John and the additional fellow from UMass.
I can pretty much hand it back at that point, but well said. No, we'll be hiring 3 street team members. We're in the process of doing that right now. Hopefully we'll have a full street team in place to work with John and myself in roughly 2 or 3 weeks to start working on a couple events we have coming up this summer, starting with Cambridge River Fest. If any of you guys want to come out and play with us, it's going to be a good time. And so moving on from there, the street team we'll be hiring is all going to be in the age group between 16 to 24 moving forward. It is a paid position, but we're also going to be probably incorporating the help of a couple different interns, as well as some of our, what used to be BYF is now
Department of Youth
something. The city renamed it, nobody knows what it's called anymore. But what was the Boston Youth Foundation will be, we have a couple of their students as well who work with us, and so be kind of a collective effort, but we will have a dedicated street team moving forward as well, who you all wonderful people were an awesome pilot for, so thank you.
Before Pacey's question for everyone, are there any other questions for the, oh, great.
I just wanted to say that a couple of us here in the back row thought that @AstroBomb was one of the coolest hashtags ever. So
that's all Mitch and Sarah right there. Team effort.
But as for the question, so was the event at Anime Boston a marketing, or did you sell tickets? And was there any thought about that, since like you would have, I imagine, like your entire target audience? I think it's a 15,000 plus attendee event. So what was the thinking behind your decision? I think it's a great idea to go there, but I'm just a bit more curious about that.
Well, originally we were going to try to table and maybe get in the arts room or the merchant's room, the dealer's room. But because the tabling went by within literally hours, we realized we'd have to mobilize, and we had to shift a lot of our intentions. And it went from, okay, well, maybe we can sell some things, maybe we can do this, to, all right, how do we get the word out, and how do we actually connect with these people and get them on Twitter and on Facebook with us? And we had to shift a lot of things. So it was basically about being fluid. And we had backpacks. We were like, okay, hey, like us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, here's information, come to us again. So it kind of turned into more of a promotional event and connecting with the target audience that would be interested in seeing it later.
And we had considered selling tickets just due to the fact that the show is all the way in the summer. We thought people might not be able to pick in terms of scheduling, but also in terms of Anime Boston, we realized that not a lot of the people that we met had Twitter. Some of them had Facebook, but there were other things such as DeviantArt, which we weren't fully aware about. So we received a really nice Facebook message actually from one of the people that was at the Astro Boy screening. And I think they're going to be involving him more in some of the Astro Boy promotional activities that'll be happening in summer.
So I'm gonna, oh, did you have a follow-up question? Go for it.
Sorry, I'm not sure you will be able to answer this, but maybe is Company One planning on doing more of these like non-traditional, like group-focused, like niche market kind of things, where like people that are into anime or like other things like that maybe aren't the traditional theater people?
Yes.
In short, absolutely. It is, I would call it an absolute priority of the company that our programming shifts pretty dramatically from show to show, with the full intention of reaching as many non-traditional audiences as possible. Company One really believes in kind of putting on theater that represents the city's entire population, not just a specific one and not just one that interests us, but anyone who hasn't traditionally had their story on stage. So a lot of our programming represents people who are traditionally, I guess you would call them niche audiences. I guess we just want to break down the walls of the niches and make it all one giant audience. One of the struggles that comes with that, which I think they did a great job expressing, is that a lot of people who come to Company One shows are either there for the first time or getting people to return because it's so show specific, the content, and kind of generating that wider, broader audience is what we're after. From a marketing standpoint though, I think it is definitely a primary focus, is tapping into kind of those niche markets because of the revolution of our programming and how different it can be from show to show. For instance, I mean, we have Astro Boy coming up this summer, and like you said, it's very much, you know, anime and robots and kind of like a family-friendly show. And then our fall show is going to be a trilogy centering around like Hindu traditions and the last 3 avatars of Hindu culture. And the two couldn't be wider apart, really. But that's kind of what we do.
Mitch, I like the notion of turning all these little niches into one giant niche. Do you have a question? All right.
Do you plan to be taking Astro Boy to the Boston Comic Con?
Oh, I think it'll be after, but I was totally trying to go there myself. So maybe I'll wear some Astro Boy swag. But no, and I believe Boston Comic Con is in later August, where Astro Boy is in July and early August. So it's gonna be after. But I'm gonna wear the glasses, so I'll be telling them what they missed.